All right. Speaking of numbers, Damian Lillard and Rob, they're clearly and Lillard addressed this. He was on the Dan Patrick show this morning, and he addressed the story that our friend Chris Haynes of Yahoo Sports wrote a few days ago, basically about Dame needing help, Dame being so loyal in Portland, and they got to get him help, or kind of an or else implication. And really it was implying, Dame's getting frustrated.
I wonder who gave him that story.
Thank you.
I wonder where that came from. I mean,
Chris covered the Blazers, right?
Right. Hello, is this on? Let's see. Where did he get this story from? As reporters, Chris, we do know.
Absolutely.
You try to cloak it like people are saying or people inside the organization.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
You know where that came from. And Dame, look, he's kind of on, it's almost like a Russell Wilson mission in that, Russell Wilson went on the Dan Patrick show and talked about his, being unhappy. Now, Dame didn't go that far as to say he's unhappy, but he did talk about hey, I want to win. Here he is.
I would say this, is how greatness is defined by, I guess, the world. People would say, how many rings and how many this and how many that? And I know my story, I know I had to scratch and claw and fight and earn everything that I have. So I want to win a championship as bad as anybody. Since my second year, we've been in the playoffs every year, been the 3 seed twice. We've been to the Western Conference Finals. And where I'm at in my career is to get to that next level is you can't continue to just be okay with, we're making the playoffs, You're working hard, and at some point you got to just be it's time to go for it. I want to experience that championship level. And that's where the frustration comes in, when it's I want that.
Well, there it is. I've said it, Rob, for years. The only thing that Damian Lillard can do to take his legacy and his reputation and all that to the next level is win a championship. That's it. I mean, he's a great individual player, Rob. I don't know where you are on this. I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I think he's easily a Hall of Famer. And he's averaging 29 points a game this year, or 28.4, 7.5 dimes. Last year, averaged 30 and 8. I mean, he is one of the absolute greatest point guards in the league right now, and has been for the last decade or so, or close. And that's the only way. He doesn't get the love that a Steph Curry gets. Why? Steph's got championships. And that's the next level. And he's always, Rob, been about, and I respect this, but he's always been about, I'm going to stay in Portland. I want to win one for the city of Portland, blah, blah, blah. And I respect the loyalty and all that. But if he wants to indeed get that championship, I do think he's going to have to join a super team. It just, I mean, Kev,
I don't think it raises his if he's joining 2 other stars. I don't know how that. I mean, yes, he'll have a championship, but I don't know if that really impacts him. Where you think, oh yeah, remember that time Dame joined these other 2 guys and got a championship? No, it would be about the other guys, which is fine. I'm not against it. When Karl Malone left Utah after all those years to try to backdoor a championship with Kobe and Shaq, and that didn't work out, but he tried to do it. I get that, Chris. I'm not mad at him. Whatever he wants to do, that's his career. But I don't think that's going to alter the player or what people look at him if he winds up going somewhere else. I don't think that I don't think a championship in his case as a third wheel heightens him.
But see, you're assuming he would be a third wheel.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
He could be the second wheel. I don't know if he's, I'm just, would he be the first wheel? Probably not. I mean, we could go through the different possible scenarios, but I would disagree, Rob, because I would say this. Kevin Durant, it changed his legacy. Now, we know he was the best player, but that team had won a championship. They had won 73 games without him. but it changed his legacy. Kevin Garnett. Remember, Garnett didn't want to leave Minnesota. He had to be like coaxed into taking that trade to Boston. He finally goes there, and he's like, man, this is like, he loved it. Playing for championships, winning a championship, being in a factor every year. And it changed. I mean, he always, like Lillard, he was going to be a Hall of Famer, but it certainly raised his profile even more. And I think, Rob, this year, James Harden, if he wins it now, I think we both feel like he's kind of the key because of the way he plays. But Durant's generally viewed and going to be viewed as the best of the three.
You already saw Durant against Milwaukee with the 42 or whatever he had the other night. You know what I mean? Like there's a good chance that Durant, will be that main guy. And it doesn't mean that Harden, if he comes up with some big shots, Chris, and plays well as the point guard and that team is rolling. I don't know. What if Harden leads the way and he's the point guard?
Harden could lead it.
You know,
because remember they're 7-7. Rob G, correct me if I'm wrong. You know what their record is when Kyrie and Durant play without Harden? 7-7. And they're losing tonight to Milwaukee. Harden is the key because of his playmaking. Kyrie, as great as he is, and he's awesome, he don't run the offense like Harden. He doesn't run it like Harden. He's not as good as running the offense. And it affects the whole team. So, but Harden, let's stick with it. Let's say he's the second best player on this team. Don't you think this is going to change his legacy, though? Let's say Durant leads them, wins the finals MVP, and is clearly the man. But Harden played great, and they win it. Don't you think that'll affect his legacy?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't think it's going to, leapfrog him over. He'll still be thought of as a guy who joined two other stars. And I don't think that would put him over the top. Everybody would know what his talent is, Chris. I don't think it would alter anybody's point of view other than that he did win a championship. But, man, he was low. The team was loaded. You know what I mean? I think it's totally different if he would have led a team in Houston and he was the main focus.
I'll give you that.
Differently.
I'll give you that. But he'll still, just like it would have been different for Durant to lead OKC. But it still has.
Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from right. But I'm just saying the impact isn't as big as if you do it kind of on your own and you're that main guy.
But as great as Dame is, and Rob, there very few normal, to use that word, size point guards have led teams to championships. Steph Curry, Isaiah Thomas, and Gus Williams in Seattle. That's it. So it takes, you got to be the elite of the elite to lead a team as a point guard, a small point guard, other than Magic Johnson, to the championship. And so I don't think Dame can do it in Portland. And they're also not going to probably get the free agent superstar there either. So